How we doing, guys? Welcome to DT's Daily. We are back again for another week. And of course, we've had football to keep ourselves entertained over the course of the weekend. So today's show, I will be going through all the results and the implications at the top and the bottom of the Premier League table.
I represent my fucking self.
How we doing, guys? Welcome to DT's Daily. That's right.
So of course there was a load of fixtures over the course of the weekend. We've been deprived of football matches over the course of the 3 months during the coronavirus lockdown. But we are well and truly back underway. And I suppose it depends what side of the fence you sit on and how your team's doing. Because some people are really glad football's back. And then like me, you wish we was back in lockdown. But we're going to start off with the Friday night game, and it was Tottenham against Manchester United, and it was an interesting game, to be fair. It's a shame that these kind of matches are being played behind closed doors. You would like to see, full stadiums and real high intensity, but it is what it is. And Tottenham, they took the lead, and there's going to be some serious question marks. Not just the defending by Harry Maguire, but the goalkeeping from David De Gea. And I don't know whether any of you have seen the interview from Roy Keane, but he actually said that if he was in the dressing room, he'd be swinging punches at the Manchester United goalkeeper. So he didn't hold any punches in his thoughts on that goal. Second half, Manchester United stepped up a gear. And then the game changed when they brought Paul Pogba on, and he brought that cutting edge, he brought that bit of class. And Bruno Fernandes, with 9 minutes to go, equalised from the penalty spot. Eric Dyer got absolutely roasted by Pogba, and then with a couple of minutes to go, Manchester United thought they had the opportunity to win the game when they were awarded another penalty. Again, Eric Dyer looked like he brought down Bruno. But VAR showed that it was actually a dive. So it was overturned. And the one question mark to that would probably be why there was not a yellow card shown for diving. But yeah, this is when VAR works. And it was a good game. And you're looking at that on the balance of play. Probably a fair result, to be honest. Manchester United won't be too happy with dropping 2 points in their chase for fourth, but it is what it is, and given the fact that it's the first game back, I suppose both of them will take that. Going into the Saturday games, first of all, the lunchtime kickoff was Watford against Leicester. Leicester looking to cement their place in the Champions League places, sitting third in the league, and of course Watford, they need to pick up points if they're going to avoid relegation. Now Watford, they had a lot of chances in this game, and I thought they actually played, decent, to be fair. 8 shots on goal, only 4 on target. Leicester, they had 15 shots on goal, but you could see where the problem was. They only had 2 on target. And then the 90th minute, Ben Chilwell looks like he wins the game for Leicester. What a goal. The way he brought that down and then pinged it into the top corner. What a goal. Worthy of winning any match. And then the equaliser 3 minutes later from Craig Dawson, centre-back. What a finish from him. And Watford's, when you look at it, given the fact they went 1-0 down into injury time and the fact that they got a point out of that, they'll probably take that and they'll probably look at it as being a very big point come the end of the season in their battle for survival in the Premier League. Now we're going to go into the 3 PM games. We all know what's coming. Brighton 2, Arsenal 1. What an absolute shower of shite. I think I've said everything I need to say in regards to this performance. Absolutely pathetic. And you think about the result on Friday night between Manchester United and Spurs. Arsenal needed no bigger incentive than this game. A victory would have took them above Spurs and only 3 points behind Manchester United. Given the fact we've been crap all season and we would be that close It was unbelievable. But once again, Arsenal bottle it. And it was just shambolic, to be quite honest with you. Of course, the talking point in the game will be before half-time. And the incident involving Leno. And I don't care how many times I watch it back. I'm sorry, it's a foul. It's dangerous. How long's Leno going to be out for? One of our best players. Absolutely ridiculous. And to rub salt into the wounds, he scores the winning goal in the 95th minute. And ironic as well, he scores in the 95th minute. And there was only 3 minutes injury time. Nicolas Pepe, 68th minute, put Arsenal into the lead. Brilliant goal, very reminiscent to his one against West Ham. Dunk equalises, 75 minutes. And then Mopai, 95th minute. Can we move on, please? Next game was West Ham against Wolves. And this was a very, very big win for Wolves. 2-0 winners. And they are really pushing for those Champions League places. And I suppose the turning point in this game was about the 65th minute when Adama Traore was brought on. And he absolutely tore West Ham to pieces. Jimenez got the first goal. And then Neto with the second one. What a finish that was. Left foot volley. Absolutely no chance. And Wolves, they're flying, man. And they're a serious shout for those Champions League places. Fair play to them. When you think when their season started as well, because they were in the Europa League preliminary rounds, which start around about June time. Absolutely ridiculous when you think about it. And they're not even out of the Europa League. They're still in that as well. Mad. So yeah, brilliant result for Wolves. Bournemouth, they look in all sorts of trouble. And I fear that this may well be their time. And they may well be heading out of the Premier League. Crystal Palace, 2-0 win. Milivojevic scores the first goal. Jordan Ayew with a second. And the game was effectively done within the first 20 minutes. To be quite honest. Bournemouth, they had 12 shots on goal, but only 1 on target. And you can see where their problems lie. Crystal Palace, they actually jumped over Arsenal into 9th place with that victory. Just making myself even more annoyed and depressed. So yeah, it was a great victory for Crystal Palace. But it's going to be a long end to the season for Bournemouth. Now we move into the Sunday games. And the first one, some might say this is a bit of a surprising result. But Newcastle beating Sheffield United 3-0. All the goals scored in the second half. And I suppose the turning point was the sending off for Sheffield United. And then the floodgates pretty much opened. St. Maximin scored the first goal. Matt Ritchie with a second. And then Joe Linton with a third. And it looks like a very, very comfortable result. And Newcastle, to be fair, they did play really well. 12 shots on goal. 8 of those on target. Sheffield United, 7 shots and only 1 on target. Not great for them because, of course, they are still in with a very big shout of getting one of those Champions League places. And a victory here would have really helped them. But that's not great for Sheffield United. And they're going to want to fix that one next time out. So, yeah, not great. Next game was Aston Villa against Chelsea. Of course, Chelsea need the victory because they need to cement that 4th place. And Aston Villa, they're fighting relegation. So they need their one. Courtney Howes, I believe his name is pronounced, scored just before half-time for Aston Villa. But Chelsea, on the balance of play, you've got to say they deserved the victory. And they turned it round within the space of 2 minutes of the second half. Pulisic and Olivier Giroud. And yeah, like I said, on the balance of play, they did deserve it. 19 shots on goal, but only 5 on target from Chelsea. 74% possession. Mad. At Villa Park as well. 8 shots from Villa, 4 on target. So Chelsea, given the results over the course of the weekend, they'll be very, very happy about that. And Aston Villa, they're going to have to start picking up points big time because they're in serious danger of dropping out of the Premier League. Last game of the weekend was the Merseyside derby. Everton against Liverpool. And I'll tell you something, it was not worth waiting for. 0-0. Oh my God. Watching that just makes you wish you were back in lockdown. Decorating. Doing something. Gardening. Whatever. It would have been more entertaining than that. It was absolutely dreadful. You don't expect much more, to be honest. Derbies are always difficult, tense affairs anyway. But when you've just come out of a 3-month lockdown, it's going to be even more difficult. Now, a couple of talking points. Mo Salah was on the bench and he did not even get on the pitch. So you've got to question why that is. And I suppose when you're looking at it, Liverpool, it's all set up now for them to win the title. Now, if they would have won this game, they could have won the league on Wednesday at home against Crystal Palace, but they can't at the moment. But Manchester City play before then. If Manchester City lose their game, then Liverpool can win the league on Wednesday against Crystal Palace. If Manchester City do win, then Liverpool cannot win the league on Wednesday. But they can win the league the following game after Crystal Palace, which is Manchester City at the Etihad. It's all set up, isn't it? To be fair. I think that as a neutral, you all want to see that. I know it's going to be so difficult for Liverpool. I know under normal circumstances, they would want to win the league at Anfield. But there's going to be nobody there. So it doesn't really matter, to be quite honest with you. They're not going to be celebrating with anyone. They're not going to be lifting a trophy to anyone. So maybe being away from Anfield might actually be better. And what better way to win the title than win it at the Etihad of your closest rivals? And when you think of what happened last season, of how Manchester City pipped Liverpool and run it all the way to the wire, it would be poetic justice that Liverpool go and get this done. So with Liverpool, it's not a matter of if, it's more when. And I think that they will get this one over the line within the next week or so. But it'd be interesting to see what happens in the Manchester City game first, because if they do lose, then yeah, Liverpool can win it against Crystal Palace on Wednesday night at Anfield. So we will have to wait and see what happens. So there we go. That is it for today's DT's Daily. Pretty straightforward, going through the fixtures and the results over the course of the weekend. And yeah, you know what? There was some interesting games in there, considering a lot of those were, the first games back for everybody else and everything else. And you've kind of got to look at that and you've got to say, yeah, you know what? That's actually not too bad. Manchester City, of course, that game that they're playing before Liverpool, before I forget, they are at home against Burnley. So you're looking at that and you're probably thinking, yeah, they'll probably win that one. But you never know, because stranger things have happened and the Premier League is throwing up all kind of mad results. But yeah, briefly, I'm going to go through the fixtures for the week ahead. And of course, we will speak about them on DT's Daily, given the results and everything else. But of course, Manchester City on Monday, tonight actually. You've got Leicester against Brighton, Tottenham against West Ham tomorrow. On Wednesday, you've got Norwich against Everton, Wolves against Bournemouth, Manchester United against Sheffield United. Massive game, that one. Newcastle against Aston Villa and Liverpool against Crystal Palace. And then on Thursday, you've got Burnley against Watford, Southampton against Arsenal, and then Chelsea against Manchester City. That's another big game. Huge, man. I can't wait to see how it all unfolds and everything else. But it's going to be so interesting to see how, these final weeks pan out. And, who gets that 5th spot and everything else. And whether it will actually be a Champions League place. That'd be an interesting one. And I'll tell you something, Arsenal will kick themselves with the amount of chances we've had. But to be fair, we don't deserve it. And I've said this in some of my other videos. We do not deserve the Champions League. And if we went into it, we'd get humiliated anyway. Unless we're allowed to spend about £300 million in the transfer market and we go and rectify all the crap that we've got within the squad. But that ain't going to happen, is it? So, yeah, listen, as I said, there we go. That's it for today's DT's Daily. As usual, let me know in the comment section what you think about today's topics, what you thought about the games at the weekend. It'd be interesting to get your thoughts on that. So if you're new around here, hit the subscribe button, make sure you smash a like on this video, and I'll see you lot tomorrow. I'm out of here.